Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general deep love read for the first half of October. So we're going to start by pulling a Wisdom of the Oracle and then a Healing Oracle for the crowning messages. And let's see what we come up with for our Taurus friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Please be sure to check all your signs if you have the time. Loyal heart, we got loyal heart. Very nice, beautiful. Beautiful. So that's your partnerships, friendships, romantic relationships. They all have very common qualities right now. Some sort of like honest devotion and faithfulness are being illustrated. So it's definitely a time for heartfelt commitments and trusting in divine protection. Now, for those of you who maybe have experienced some sort of betrayal, that's only a sign that someone doesn't deserve to be in your life, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but rejection is certainly God's protection for sure. But now is the time to really look at any sort of like outdated beliefs, old ideas, any sort of misplaced loyalties that you might be maybe, exercising right now or experiencing from somebody. And then we have pay attention to the signs, okay? So there are signs right now all around you, Taurus. It's really necessary for you to open up your mind, though, and pay really close attention to your immediate environment, because your angels know that you've been feeling very, very lost in about like the direction that you're taking in your life. What are you doing? Where are you going? And the decisions that you need to make, right? A lot of Tauruses have been feeling like this. But they've heard you, they know your frustrations and your cries for help, and they ask you though right now to slow down, stop focusing so much on a problem of a situation and be more solution oriented, and to make some really good changes in like your 3D reality right now. You know, your spiritual helpers have been organizing these synchronistic events to support you really in whatever it is that you're going through right now. But, you know, what this energy tells me though is that you keep thinking in some sort of same stubborn way. So you really do need to relax and look at life in a more creative way, in a more multi-dimensional way than you have been right now. So definitely pay attention to repetitive signs and signals, and this could come in the form of smells of a person, of feeling within your body, of your electronics going a little wacky. Suddenly it feels a little cold, maybe it suddenly feels hot, seeing some sort of animal, anything in your thoughts, anything like that, okay? But again, your body could even be asking you to rest, right? If you're feeling really, really exhausted, or maybe to even change your diet or to work on some sort of challenging emotion that you're experiencing right now. But make sure that you take these signals very seriously, because something is definitely happening behind the scenes for you guys right now. And it's very important that you pay attention so that it can manifest, so that it can come to fruition. But I love the loyal heart. I feel like you have some loyal energies in your life right now. Now, this is not to say that you've always had them there, and this is not to say that you haven't experienced some sort of pain as well, having to do with some sort of connection. But you do have some really beautiful energies surrounding you right now, which is nice. Okay, let's pull for the recent past. We have the Strength energy with the Eight of Cups. And then we have the current energies, and these are the near future, and then final outcome. Okay, it's funny. It's funny, I do really big shuffles between, obviously between signs, and then obviously you can hear me doing additional shuffling on camera. And I've gotten the Five of Cups in that position for not all the signs, but like enough where I'm noticing it. Like I think this is the third or fourth time, and the World energy in that very spot as well. So very interesting. Very interesting. We have the Fool, all right, and the Knight of Cups, all right. Okay, so coming into this energy, we have the Five of Swords working with the Strength card, working with the Nine of Cups, working with the Eight of Cups. Wow, very interesting energies. So why don't we first talk about, let's get the negative out of the way. The Five of Swords is Venus and Aquarius energy, and it's really a kind of this sort of energy where it poses that very big existential question. Things are like this now, are they going to be like this forever, kind of thing. And this is whether you're single, whether you're with someone. You know, Venus is things that we value, and in Aquarius rules the future, because Aquarius is a futuristic energy because it's ruled by Uranus, which does rule the future. It also rules humanitarian effort. So some of you Taurus energies out there might be feeling very, very overwhelmed with what's happening regarding the pragmatics of our world right now. And you know, pick an area, because there are so many areas where there are challenges right now. So for some of you, you're going to relate with it like that. Others of you, the Five of Swords energy could be very much a bullying energy, where it's like explosive kinds of arguments. And there's also the idea of thievery here. And whenever we have the idea of thievery with the sword energy, because swords are truth and words, and are you know, how we communicate, I always view that as like a gaslighting kind of energy, or deflection, or, you know, as I've been calling, like toxic mental gymnastics, where it's like, well, you said this, well, you said, well, I never really said that, well, you know, and this back and forth kind of energy. Now, we could always have this kind of confliction within ourselves. You know, where we're in our own mind saying, I wonder if is it ever going to be any different? Is this situation ever going to resolve itself any differently than it is right now? This could be your conversation within self, or this could be you just moving forward, you know, with somebody, having this conversation with somebody. Now, when we have the Strength energy, this is a Leo energy, and this is about self-love and unconditional love, self-respect, feeling really brave right now, having to do with relationship. Now, it can also, the fact that we do have it with this Five of Sword energy, we always have to say this is adding an edge of conflict to things. So if we have an edge of conflict added to a Strength card, which has to do with Leo, there could be some sort of situation where you're at least feeling that somebody's ego is way too, not even too big, but it's just getting in the way of things right now. Okay, we have this walking away energy with the Nine of Cups, and very, very interesting, because the Eight of Cups is recognizing that whatever you're doing right now in relationships, we're doing, right, because this is the recent past, it was not working. It was not working. And you knew, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, you knew that it's the Saturn and Pisces energy. You weren't going to get this relationship, have this relationship that you see for yourself in your mind's eye. So it's with sadness but little regret with this energy that there is a walking away. You know, it's a withdrawal, it's a retreating, it's a moving on. It really is like an abandonment energy, Taurus. You know, maybe you abandoned a relationship without being fully honest. Some of you not being fully honest about it as well. Right, with the Sword card and the Strength card. You know, you being just very focused on your dreams. You know, Nine of Cups is being very focused on wishes coming true, material abundance, good health. Some of you may be just very focused on creating that kind of abundance for yourself, feeling really good about yourself doing it, you know, feeling really, really good, but at the same time having this level of confliction with a partner, and it's just not working out the way everybody thought. Right, so I see this idea of abandonment, of walking away, or at least creating a significant amount of difference and focusing on, you know, your stuff for the time. Now, right now we have the World, we have the Page of Cups working with the Four of Wands, working with the Six of Swords. So let's address again the challenges first here. These are three amazing cards, and the Six of Swords, it's not that it's bad, and believe me, it's a minor arcana. It doesn't have to be any more than that, a temporary thing. But this is definitely a necessary transition. For some of you, this can indicate relocating, moving away, but it's a moving away from something that you identified in your mind as toxic. Okay, something that you identified in your mind as not being very good for you. Now we have the world energy, and the world does indicate completing a goal, completing a lesson. So there's some sort of lesson that had to be learned within the confine of a relationship, or even you being single. So going back to this first line, I'm sorry for our Taurus single friends, this walking away, 8 of Cups, that could be walking away from being single, making being very decided, and that you don't want to be single anymore. Because it's a toxic way of living, because people do need each other to a certain extent. And if you've been feeling like you're just a little too in the hermit mode, particularly because of the pandemic and everything, this is you being very focused on being brave and getting yourself back out there. Just really allowing yourself to get back out there, but not really having, you're talking yourself into it, all right? Those of you who are getting back out there into the dating game, you're definitely talking yourself back into it, because I do identify the 5 of Swords being that, oh, why am I going to go through this again? It's only going to end up in the same way. You know, what's the point? Meanwhile, you really have this wish fulfillment that you have very clearly in your mind's eye, but you're like arguing with yourself. But I see you feeling brave and giving it a go and ending that cycle and allowing yourself to meet your Prince Charming, because here we have a page of Cups, Prince Charming, Princess of Charming. I mean, keeping it real, the Page of Cups does indicate a new relationship. You know, it's a new heart connection. Now, I do want to say, because it's page and not an ace, a page could certainly also mean a reconnection. It's going to resonate with all of you differently. You may be meeting somebody totally different. You may be meeting somebody feeling like you've met them before, or you may be reconnecting with somebody who you were with at one time, and you guys are, you know, you learned your lesson last time, and now it's time to incite this new cycle in a different way. Not in the same way. So things look different this time around for those of you who are reconnecting. You're leaving the toxicity in the past. You don't want to deal, like the past is done. Toothpaste is out of the tube, as I always say. You can't put it back in. It's done. Whatever's done is done. And then we have the 4 of Wands, which is the honeymoon card. Beautiful energy. This is about strong foundation, figuring things out. This is the 4 of Wands is really this point where you're saying, all right, we're totally going to do this. Let's sit down and figure out, you know, how are we going to actually bring this come to pass? But it's a very celebratory vibe, right? Everybody kind of knows that you guys are together. It does indicate reunion, right? Especially so for those of you, as I mentioned with the Page of Cups, the 4 of Wands is a reunion energy as well, like a reconnection energy. But what I do see is you guys reconnecting. For those of you who are resonating with it like that, you really are making such a decided effort to leave the toxicity in the past. That doesn't mean you're not going to talk about it. You have to talk about it. But the lesson's done. It's completed. Whatever karmic lesson you guys needed to learn together has been learned. So, you know, let's see what the next level could be, because maybe you guys are a red thread energy, you know, where you guys are meant to be together, but you're meant to go through a lot of karmic lessons as well. So that's going to resonate with many of you in that way, in a very, very positive way. Those of you who are single, yeah, you're definitely leaving the toxicity of a single, I don't need anybody kind of sensibility, because that's just silly and unhealthy. And you are, you know, you learn whatever lessons you need to learn. You're opening yourself up. And whatever connection you are meeting is really good for those of you who are single. So this is a really good energy, I have to say, for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Good energy for reconnection. Really good energy for singles. Absolutely. And that is really what I'm getting really at this point. Let's see what comes up for the near future. We have the Page of Wands and the 4 of Swords. So the Page of Wands is a very kind of very attractive energy, very kind of immature. Pages are always a bit immature, right? We have to call it what it is. Wands are will, motivation, all of that, but the wand is also a phallic symbol for sex. So this could be somebody who, you know, is maybe very attractive to you, maybe wanting to have a good time. But you're in this space of not knowing if you really want to engage in that, because we have the 4 of Swords is taking some time out for retreat, rest, some renewal. kind of giving yourself an opportunity for some solitude and recovery, thinking about, what you've been in, just in your past situations, in your past relationships. And I feel like there's this evolution of you figuring out what it is that you want in relationship. But as I always say with the Four of Swords, it's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like, you're trying to anyway, remembering the good of all the relationships that you've been in and identifying things that you've liked, at the same time understanding what you don't like, so that you can move forward in the best possible way. Because the Four of Swords is a Jupiter and Libra energy, and Jupiter expands whatever it's in, and Libra is all about partnership. So this is you kind of taking some downtime to figure out what it is that you really, really want. But there is this new energy that's entering. Now, this new energy could be a reconnection, not a reconnection, but like a rekindling of the love within your current relationship, and a rekindling of the attraction. For others of you, it can be this reconnection. Others of you, you're meeting somebody brand new, but there is this engagement with others. This is not an alone kind of thing. Now, we have the King of Swords energy, which I'm never mad at. I like the King of Swords. I am a Gemini sun, so sword energy, mental, keeping with the Mercury energy. This is about keeping something in the mental and not allowing yourself to get too caught up in the lovey-dovey of it all. And there's nothing wrong with that, because this is about having very logical, strategic thought regarding a person, a situation, whatever it is. It's being very logical. This is not a like, let's run off to Vegas and get married kind of thing. Okay, which is good, because this is like, there's a groundedness about this, which is very nice. It's very good for the Taurus energy. And we have this working with the star, and the star is all about renewal and having faith and healing. This is about healing. This is about being in the spotlight. But this inner clarity that comes, that incites healing. The star is an Aquarius energy. And Aquarius, being ruled by Uranus, it's all about, and the Uranus is also the Fool energy, right? So it's about focusing on the future, a new path, a new perspective, a new direction. There's a lot of newness here. A lot of newness, a lot of practical, a lot of desire, a lot of attraction. All of this is really, really good. All of this is really good. And I like that we have the Four of Swords with the King of Swords. I really do. Because that's being very, very logical and very practical, and saying, okay, I've been in a lot of relationships. They haven't all worked out, but they haven't all been train wrecks. There was something that I learned from that one, and I learned this from that one. And no, it didn't work, and I don't like that they did that, but I learned. And now you're in the space of saying, okay, you're ready to really kind of define this next chapter of your life and what you want relationship to be like and look like. And it's an idea of staying in that mental. Oh, look, and we did get the Fool energy here, which is a Uranus. So when we have the Death and Rebirth card, don't be scared about this, because this is a very necessary energy that incites big changes and endings, indicating that it's time to move on from one way of being to allow a rebirth and a transformation. So for those of you reconnecting, this is pretty obvious. Leave the toxicity in the past, have the conversation, and focus forward. For those of you who are single and you're meeting somebody, we're never single and clean, right? After a certain point, because we all have baggage from our past, right? So if you're single now, you still probably have some sort of residue on your soul from past connections, and it's time to just let it go. Just let it go and allow this new. And just allow this Fool energy, which is all about a fresh hope, taking a chance, right? A new path, some sort of new adventure, a new beginning. Whatever happened, leave it in the past, right? There's no space for it right now. There's just none. This is all about transformation. And we have this Five of Cups energy working with the Knight of Cups. Listen, the Five of Cups is about worry. There's worry here. There's, in a sense, some sort of isolation. So some of you could be really excited about the relationship component of this connection, but you might be really worried, like, how are we going to pay for it? Which is not unusual for a Taurus energy, because you guys are the landlord of the second house of resources, for goodness sake. Your ruler is Venus, which is one of the money planets. So it's completely logical for you to say, okay, right, in the King of Sword energy, we're going to do this. We're going to live where? We're going to do what? We're going to do A, B, and C. How are we going to pay for it? Right? So the Five of Cups energy could be very much this feeling, this loss, this feeling of abandonment, this feeling of unloved, feeling unconnected because of these other things. It doesn't only have to be because of just emotions. You have to understand there are sort of side doors to these energies, right? So this idea of feeling this loss and this sensibility could be because of some sort of loss from a job. This could be some, feeling very out of sorts because of that, or feeling like this sense of loss or abandonment because of something else other in your life, something going on, but it ends up playing a role in the relationship. And this could end, and now this doesn't have to be you at all, Taurus. This could be the person that you're dealing with. Where maybe your partner is dealing with a lot of depression. There could be a lot of anxiety here. It's like it's like a grief, almost like a despondency kind of feeling, if that makes sense to you. This just feeling like unloved, disconnected, and abandoned. And I'm saying it like that because in this line, we have this idea, yes, now for some of you, a relationship is going to end, okay? For some of you, you might be dealing, the King of Swords could be a little cold, for some of you. And there's this recognition that something maybe is over. Like, look, Taurus, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this anymore with you. We're done, blah, blah, blah. And you go right into healing mode, recognizing that something needs to be over, okay? And that you need to take this new chance, have a new perspective, right? And open yourself up to meeting somebody brand new. Knight of Cups is is a Prince Charming or a Princess Charming or a proposal of something, right? So you might be feeling very hyper-focused on the sadness of something ending. That is going to resonate with some of you. But for others of you, particularly if you're like in a space of reconnecting, the Knight of Cups indicates a proposal, right? So it could be a proposal of romance. Obviously, do you want to go out? Do you want to get married? Do you want to get engaged? Do you want to move in together? Anything like that. But could also be like, can we try this again kind of thing? The Knight is an older energy, so it could certainly be that, let's try things just very different this time. But we're dealing with this death and this rebirth. So for some of you as well, you may be dealing with this pain of it initially ending the first time and really trying to unknot those feelings and those emotions within you. But there definitely is, in the final outcome, this need to go through or deal with, either yourself or a partner, this sense of loss, this sense of disconnect. Again, it could be because of money, it could be because of some sort of family situation that's playing a role in the relationship. So it could certainly be that. But I do see this working something out. There's a moving forward. There is a beautiful new connection here. And if it's not new, it's a revisit in a really beautiful way. Try to give different interpretations because these are general messages and there are many of you out there. And you're not all going to resonate with it the same way. Okay, so let's pull Lenormand. Remember, Taurus, Lenormand is different than Tarot. It's a different system. The images are different and the meanings are different, as is how I interpret it. So let's see what we have here. Something needs to be looked at a little more closely. There's going to be an argument. Birch broom. Something's going to end as it was. Death. It's a Pluto energy. It's an 8th house energy. It's Scorpio. It's about ending and beginning, right? You got the death and the rebirth card already in there. Something needs to be looked at more closely. You have a decision to make. Are you going to look at something and release it? Or are you going to keep yourself in a gilded cage and protected? And because you're scared to look at something, or you're scared to accept a certain truth or look at something in the full light of day. So that's the energy of that. Are you going to keep yourself in a gilded cage? Or are you going to release yourself? Are you going to let yourself feel? Are you going to let yourself love? Are you going to let yourself take a chance? We have the Mask. Okay. Appreciation. It's the flowers. It's getting a message of appreciation, of admiration, somebody admiring you, Somebody seeing your beautiful parts. You got the well. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Yep, I had a feeling. Had a feeling that was coming. Be interesting. That's the necessary. Yep. Wow, I need to pull one more. Yep. Okay. New cycle. Okay. Okay, let me go through this with you guys. Something needs to be looked at very closely with the magnifying glass. The birch broom, once something is looked at very closely and sort of realized, there's going to be an argument about it. That argument is going to incite an ending of something. Now, it's an ending of something the way it was at least. Now, this was not 100% anyone's fault. The reality of the situation is I feel like there's something, at least on your part, Taurus, there's something that you're not seeing or wanting to fully openly admit, even if you recognize it to yourself, that you've been feeling. And the thing is here, you need to make the decision. Are you going to embrace it, or are you going to hide? Because we see you taking a chance here, but then we have the mask, and the mask indicates hiding. The mask indicates feeling one way on the inside and acting another way on the outside. But this is the thing. There's somebody in your life right now who very much appreciates you or wants to have a relationship with you, have a connection with you. But there's something about you and about... That sounds harsh, all right? And I don't mean it to sound... And listen, I'm Taurus moon, so I'm like right here with you. But there's something that needs to be looked at. The well is about like hitting the precipice of something. Like you hit the bottom of something here, right? And even though you think you have looked at everything, there's still about 15% of something that's not being looked at. It's like the mucky stuff on the bottom of the well that you have to dig up. Now, the message here, though, is whatever you have in your mind's eye and in your heart that you really want in a relationship is yours to have. But just understand that it's only yours to have if you put the work in through total honesty. And that's going to mean that you have to take any kind of mask off. And I love when I say this in readings and I get very nasty messages. I don't wear a mask. I'm not phony, da, da, da. Everyone wears a mask sometimes. Everyone. That doesn't mean that everyone's malicious or we're all running around playing, games with people. No, we all do this a lot of times when we're not even sure how we're feeling about something. So we'll put on the face or we'll act like everything's okay while we're trying to work out how we really feel about something. That's a normal part of the human condition. But what these energies are saying is that you have to be very open and honest, because there is somebody who really cares about you in your energy, Taurus. And to have this, I just want to say, as far as placement, we have this appreciation and then we have the lilies. And the lilies indicates getting a message from somebody either who's a very wise elder in your life. So this could be like a grandparent, an aunt, somebody who's very experienced, or getting a message from the other side. Somebody who loves you very much, who's passed over. This could be a grandparent, a parent, an aunt, uncle, cousin, friend, whatever. Okay? And this message that's coming in, though, is based in truth. And you have to understand the truth of whatever's hanging out at the bottom of your well. What are you fighting here? What are you fighting either within yourself, or what are you fighting that somebody else is trying to have with you? Because a new cycle is meant to happen as soon as you embrace this truth. So going back to pay attention to the signs, this is another sign card. The lilies is very much another sign card. This is, again, smells, temperature, number sequences, songs popping up. Just a lot of memories randomly flooding back. And look, this is going to be happening with everyone right now anyway. And don't be surprised, guys. Also, it's very interesting. I want to just make note. We have Mercury's going to be retrograde in Scorpio. It's going to be happening in your 7th house. So I just wanted to throw out there that you have that happening while Venus is in Virgo in your 5th house. You're going to be feeling a lot of resurfacing of partnership stuff. So this could even have to do with business partnerships, and even real, like old friends who are like best friends a long time ago, or very deep, close family connections where you guys fell apart from each other. And you're going to be at least doing a lot of emotional work of digging up these emotions very much during this energy. So I do want to say that. But the lilies is very about paying attention to the signs, because there's some sort of truth about a situation that once you realize it, it's going to open up this new cycle for you. But something's got to end. There's no question. There's an argument that either happened already or that's going to happen, that's ending something. But in order for anything, for you to move forward in any kind of way, you need to take this chance, be authentic. Don't close yourself off. Keep yourself open, but really, really, really get down deep and honest with yourself right now. It's very important. But I do feel like there is an energy in your life that is very honorable. Not saying everyone, but if you're resonating with this, you're going to know what I'm talking about. We have another Four of Swords energy. Not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Beautiful, the World. Another World card. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, definitely like a lessons learned. You're ending something here, but a good. The World is the best card of the deck. It's the most positive. But it's also a Saturn card, which means that whatever lesson you went through was so challenging, it was ridiculous emotionally. Or it could even been in the 3D, a little bit of both. And we have the Magician making something happen. This is an alchemical energy. This is Mercury. Mercury rules the 3rd and 6th house. This is about learning, communicating. This is about having a very healthy perspective, mental, physical, emotional, right? Because Mercury rules the 6th house also, which is Virgo. Virgo rules our health. It rules our day-to-day work environment. It also rules 3rd house, which is Gemini, communication, learning. So the Magician, the energy of the Magician is the alchemical process of bringing those two things together. Really good communication to make connection healthier. Beautiful. 9 of Swords. Feeling anxiety about a situation. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Being very, very resourceful. It's also very much a fertility energy. It's the energy of like the domestic sphere. So guys, listen, keeping it real. If you don't want to get pregnant, watch out. Okay, watch out. Because it may, if it's not wanted, it may end up causing you some stress. That's for somebody. And then we have the 10 of Swords. So we have the 9 of Swords and we have the 10 of Swords here. Yep. So the 10 of Swords is about, it's like a complete and painful ending. It is a hitting rock bottom. It is the well card. That well energy, that is the 10 of Swords. But what happens here, because it's still a minor arcana, you hit the end so that you could get up and rebuild yourself. So I don't see this as being an easy energy. The World is not even an easy energy at all. But the World is what you're going to get once you go through all of this. Yeah, and then we have the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is somebody coming in and speaking the truth, and it's very necessary. But this incites a lifestyle change, Taurus. Your lifestyle is going to be changing for many of you. Just like what your day-to-day is going to be like is going to be changing. Some of you are not going to be really feeling motivated to actually do all of the work in the Lenormand, and that's perfectly okay. You're not all going to resonate with it the same way. So you may be making the decision to just simply end something. The lesson's been learned, okay, and you're ready to move on. Some of you are not going to be wanting to work it out. Soulmates, soul connection, partnership agreement, soul contract. Dragonfly, be lighthearted, finding out things coming to light, adapting, changing, and healing. Sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking out, gaslighting, perception. So somebody may be stalking you on social media right now. If you guys are not together, you might be doing that to somebody else. And we have seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. Doesn't have to mean third-party interference. This could actually be you guys seducing each other. Heart with the key. Welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together. Perfect. So we have bookending soulmates and heart with the key. So it does look good. It looks like there's a new energy coming in for those of you looking. You guys going through some sort of karmic connection here. It just does seem. I'm not the person you remember. I love everything about you, even though I may not like you sometimes. I'm now feeling the fallout of my actions. Okay. I just feel a lot of emotions are connected to this. There's so many emotions here. My goodness. We have 12th house. Yeah. It's the house of the unconscious. It's the house of self-undoing as well. Pisces is the landlord. Neptune is the ruler. So you might be in the space of really trying to work out, very much work out. Right? We have Capricorn is all about work. Okay, and then we have Mercury. So you guys could be doing a lot of pragmatic work through conversation about figuring out what it is that you really, really want this relationship to be, or relationship at all. For those of you who are trying to fix something, there is a lot of deep soul connection going on here, and this commitment to very much put in the work that's necessary to work it out. I feel like there was so much, I know this is going to sound very weird, but I'm being called to say it, posturing in this relationship. Does that even make sense? Like, we're just posturing in general. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm saying it because of the mask, although I didn't even get that feeling. What I mean by posturing is not being 100% authentic. Either you or the person that you've been dealing with, 100%. And a lot of the challenges and the arguments back and forth were challenges to that. Were challenges to your authenticity because of fear and vulnerability. So a lot of fear, a lot of vulnerability going on here. Not wanting to be called out. Needing to have ego fed in a certain way. You being called upon to feed somebody else's ego. Feeling like if things aren't this way, then we can't work at all, kind of energy. You know, it's like taking a stance and not letting it go. Neptune, dreams. Imagine, yeah, I mean, this is the 12th house energy. I'm not surprised this came out. You know, this is really getting in touch with your spirituality, really exercising compassion and empathy, you know, trying to just escape together for a little bit as well, because it's a really nice energy to do that in, but feeling rather confused, not totally sure of what's going to happen right now. So maybe all you know is that you still have feelings for this person. Maybe that's all you know, and that's okay for now, you know. This is a short-term read. We have 9th house, faith. And we have, this is exactly where, well, for those of you who are Taurus risings anyway, this is where the stellium has been. Remember, our rising sign indicates house placements, not the sun, not the moon, right? So to a much lesser degree, Taurus sun, much lesser degree, Taurus moon, and Venus would be feeling it. But the stellium that Pluto, right, Jupiter, Saturn, stellium, they've all been retrograde. They're now out of retrograde, though. It's all been happening in your 9th house. So you're very much really sort of revamping your belief system at this time and reconnecting with your faith and whatever that means to you right now. So I see there being a lot of progress. I see a lot of serendipitous, energetic help from the other side right now. I see a lot of messages trying to penetrate Taurus. Make sure you stay open. There is a sense of stubbornness about these energies. I'm not throwing shade, guys. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I'm feeling here. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.